It's time to do the Monster Mash at the Monster Mile, but everyone on track is hoping it doesn't turn into a graveyard smash. It's the Monster Mile 200, the next round in the Racecraft Grand National Series. I'm James Watson, joined by my new color commentator, Cameron Rich, and joined, as always, with our producer, Dave Huckleberry. First of all, Cam, what are you looking forward to for tonight? It's going to be a full-length 200-mile race tonight.
Yes, sir. Dover, one of those tracks that's always about tire wear and staying out of trouble. And one of the cool things about this track is you got 9 degrees of banking on the straights, which is the highest banking on the straightaways that NASCAR runs at any racetrack, and 24 in the corners. So they call this track a bit of a self-cleaning racetrack. If trouble happens, it usually goes right down to the bottom. But that also creates some problems in itself because we have big wrecks here because of that. But our 7th visit here in the Grand National Series for Elite. I think it's going to be a great one. Going to see who can save the tires and save the car tonight.
Absolutely, and we're gonna about ready to show you the starting lineup for tonight. A bit of a change. It was a accidentally open qualifying, so that changed things up. So we have the 95 of Gavin Hibbs on pole next to the 54 of Hunter Smith in P2. The 26 of Brandon Wilkinson and the 34 of JP Phillips on row 2. Jay Connor in the 9 and Scott Eckridge in the 29 on row 3. The 83 of Johnny Thomas and the 24 of Michael Hosek, row 4. Then we have the 90 of Scott Crump and the 11 of Matthew Weeks rounding out the top 10.
P11 is going to be Trey Eidson next to Jesse Rosimus in position number 12. Lucky number 13 is Jonathan Cutlip next to Chad Frankenfield. He's won twice here in the past, so look for him to be fast. 14th is going to be, that was Chad's 14th. Zach Rogers is going to be 15th next to Gavin Higgins in 16th. Ryan Borges lines up 17th, and Jeff Green lines up in P18. That's a pink car for him. I don't think that's how it is in the sim, but pink on our list here. Ethan Stanley in 19th here, and R.C. Enerson lines up in 20th.
Then we have the 21 of Seth Rawls and the 10 of Jared Rexing on row 11. The 8 of Chris Wright and the 34 of Gerald Campbell on row 12. The 13 of Tyler Pott next to the 64 of Andrew Recker on row 13. Row 14 features the 30 of Connor Thompson Gardner and the 37 of Ethan Burrell, his first start of the season. Tommy Ryan in the 66 next to his brother Jeff Ryan on row 15, rounding out the top 30.
31st is Dave Carpenter lining up next to 32nd Kyle Hanshaw. 33rd is Harrison Talion next to Austin Anabnit in the 60 car. Beautiful machine that Josh Berry inspired Lotus design there. Mark Rebellis in 35th next to Josh Adams in 36th. 37th is Paul Bunch of Letters Michael Atchik next to Jacob Adams in 38th. 39th is Tate Lytle, which I don't actually see him on the racetrack, and so it's going to be Jacob Adams there lining up to round out the field. But yeah, it's going to be a fun race here. A lot of laps. 200 is it is brutal here, James. These drivers are going to be sweating after tonight.
Absolutely, and Tate Lytle, he's signed up, but he's not loaded in, so when he does load in, he is going to be quite a few laps down. Unfortunate for last week's winner, but who knows, he might get the cautions he need to get those laps back. But here we go, the pace car making the hard left-hand turn onto pit road. Gavin Hibbs will lead us to the restart zone. Green means going. We are underway at Dover. Saw someone get real sideways on the gas right behind. I think it might have been the 26. Oh, we got a car already sideways on the apron. Big save from Ryan Borges. Oh my goodness. Oh, this does not look good. We are 3 wide off of turn 2. Oh, that's something you never want to see here at Dover, Cam.
No, and I think that was the 26 of Wilkinson. He was all sorts of sideways, about 57 different flavors of it going down into turn number 1 there, and that kind of created a stack up all throughout the back. But I think we are all getting going, and that 3 wide definitely Could have been deadly, but it was not at the moment just yet.
Absolutely. We stay clean and green right now. Battle with Racimus and Crump off of turn 4.
And that's such a hard place for Crump to be in. When you're on the inside here at Dover, your car naturally wants to slide up off the corners here, so he's got to be very careful not to slide up into that 70 and also not get himself loose, because you can definitely lose the rear end there. You see him sliding up in the middle of the corner there, and just so hard to make that pass for Crump on the inside there. And Racimus is hanging very tough there on the outside right now.
Yeah, I think Scott was going for a little bit of a diamond line to try to get that straight shot off of the corner and have a little more grip to work with on corner exit, because like you said, it's so hard to be side by side. When you jump out of the banking onto the straightaway, always just kind of sucks your car up into the wall, and you're always so scared trying to go side by side with someone, trying to make sure you don't stuff them into the wall because of it. But you see Crump finally able to get the pass done on Racimus, and now here comes Trey Eidson trying to do the same thing, and Trey's gonna have him cleared for now.
Yeah, and Racimus probably not want to get stuck up there too long, but I would have to think that a little bit later on this race, when this, if we can get a green flag run and get the tires a little bit worn out, we might see that outside line start to come in just a little bit. Not really the outside as the next to the wall, but middle line is kind of your outside here at Dover. So we'll definitely have to look about that later on in the race. There's Jeff Green, who actually is in the pink car tonight, so definitely one you can spot from about 2 miles away, and he's got R.C. Enerson behind him, who has made him a few spots. He's looking pretty fast right now.
Yeah, unfortunately for Jeff, there always seems to be some sort of weird glitch with his car, so we got to put it in the pink machine just so we can tell who it is on the racetrack. And yeah, you can definitely tell who it is with that color.
And he's got his old Busch Series paint scheme a couple cars behind him there in the number 10, so wonder how he's feeling about that one. That's Jared Rexing, who he's gained about 4 spots right now, looking pretty good right now himself. Bit of a deja vu, or like, seeing myself in the mirror type moment once that car gets behind Jeff Green, but looking pretty good right now. And I think, if I remember correctly, Jeff Green actually ran pretty well here back in the day in the Busch Series, so might see that 2 car, that pink machine, gain a few spots here later in the race.
Absolutely. Jared Rexing, of course, runs that scheme for pretty much every series here in Elite, as you see Matthew Weeks completing the pass on the 26 of Wilkinson, move Weeks up to P6.
Yeah, Wilkinson's struggling heavily right now after that slide up into turn 1. I mean, it might not seem like a whole lot, but those tires, you buzz them right on the start a little bit, and it will take a while for them to come back in fully. So that shift esports car just having a little bit of trouble right now. He's right there in front of Johnny Thomas in 8th place, and just trying to really, when you start your race off like that, James, just kind of wiggling the tail all over the place and getting knocked around, it can really throw you out of your rhythm. So he's just trying to get back in there right now and get it underway.
Absolutely. As you see, the tonight's format got 6 sets of tires in the pits. And with it being a full-length race, we are doing 2 stages, 45 and lap 90, just like they do in real life. And of course, here in the Elite, no cautions at the stage. And I imagine Brandon Wilkinson is probably hoping for a caution here soon to maybe get those tires changed, because according to Chris Wright, the car is trending loose over the course of the run, which is a bit unlike what we're used to with a lot of these fixed setups. So buzzing the rear tires in a setup like this, maybe not the best time to do it. So far, Wilkinson is holding strong, but got the 83 of Thomas all over the back, trying to get himself another spot.
Yeah, and I think Johnny Thomas just trying to run a little bit of a different line there. He's trending about a half a car width lower in the corners there than the 26, just trying to get some downforce on that nose so he doesn't get himself right in the back of that aero wash coming off the 26. I think he's a little bit faster right now, just needs to find the time and space to be able to make it right now. And we're kind of seeing the field string out a little bit here. I think I see some side-by-side. Matthew Weeks just got around the 9 of Kanor there for 5th. So, we see that at Dover quite a bit, that it will string out, then it kind of bunches back up as the tires wear out. Everybody kind of starts to converge a little bit there. And actually, you see a little bit there, Phillips and Eckrich going at it. Eckrich, well, I think Phillips was going at Eckrich, but could not complete the pass. So that would have been for the 3rd position.
Yeah, and you also, another reason why I think we're stringing out here is I think everyone is really wanting to stretch it as far as you can go, because make no mistake, Cam, this might be the worst and the toughest pit lane entry and pit road period in NASCAR.
Yeah, I would have to agree. It is a pretty tough one there. There is Wilkinson on Kanor right now for the 6th position. So Kanor, he's losing a few spots, but long race here, not the end of the world. And we saw back in 2004, James, Matt Kenseth, a driver who doesn't make mistakes really all that much. He did stuff it right into that pit barrel at the end of the pit road there, and it was a bit of a funny moment, but. They believe, 2013 or 14 or so, they actually extended that pit wall out. So it used to be more towards turn 4, and they extended it back towards turn 3 a little bit. So a little bit harder to get on pit road. I think once they did that, you got to slow up earlier, and you're in the corner as you do that. So it's kind of like Darlington in a way. Darlington is a really tough pit road to get on, just because you're swinging. You got to go out really wide or kind of keep it tight. There's a few ways to do it, but it's always tough. So. It's just one of those pit roads that is it is very brutal.
Absolutely, and the other difficult thing about this pit road is, despite this being a fairly high-speed track, this is a 35-mile-an-hour pit lane speed, as Andrew Recker serving his black flag for a drive-through from, I believe, Tally. Too many tallies in the last few races, according to what I've tried to pick up from race control chatter. But yeah, 35 miles an hour. It is an eternity. This is one of the worst tracks to have to serve a drive-through at. But yeah, it's going to be probably a lap and a half loss for Andrew Recker, and about 2 laps loss on a green flag pit stop. So you're hoping that you don't have to do a green flag pit stop here at Dover, because if you get a caution, yeah, that might be race over.
Yeah, brutally slow pit road. It feels so much longer. It might as well be Pocono's pit road at that speed. So you're just on there forever. And for Rucker there, taking that drive through while everybody else is going past 150 plus miles an hour, it just feels like you're stopped. You might as well be. So he's going to need a caution. 1 lap down. He is actually not too far in front of the leader right now to put him a 2nd lap down. They're about 2 corners apart. So we'll see if they can get that. But a little bit of a battle up here for 2nd place. Eckrich and Hunter Smith going at it. Eckrich looks quick on that inside line, just trying to... Really, that's the thing about Dover here, is if you can keep your car lower on the corner exits here, you generally will. That kind of saves your tires a little bit, and it gives you a little bit more downforce on the exit of the corner, and kind of helps you a little bit. So I think Eckrich has been doing a good job of doing that right now as he goes up to the top. Going to be under fire from J.P. Phillips, was looking for 2 there for a second.
Look at the run he got running that outside lane. He's going to clear Hunter Smith easily. That was a bit of a stroke of genius from Eckrich. And I can't say I'm surprised by that, because last week we saw him basically ripping the lip at Michigan. And he was about near unstoppable for the first chunk of the race when he was doing that. You see, he's just able to drive right around Hunter Smith into P2. As he's lapping past his teammate Ryan Borges. Borges' tires definitely not okay from that big slide he had having to save it. And I think he might have also got some front end damage from the chain reaction that came from Wilkinson's less than stellar start. So
yeah, definitely not going to help the handling there. And I'm actually watching Gavin Hibbs here. He is taking the high line around the track, or he's entering high and then cutting it completely down at the bottom and exit. So interesting line he's running there. I have to say it's working well for the moment because he is obviously leading, but I will have to wonder how that is going to fare for his tires later on in the race with some of the cars a little bit further on back, kind of choosing the bottom here. iRacing, kind of the meta with how it works with the tires is generally speaking that the bottom line is going to save them more at most racetracks, even though that's not how it works in real life. But we're on board with him right now. See, just entering up there, kind of let the car wash up to, I'd say that's the third line, and then right down to the bottom here on the exits. A little bit higher than he's been in the past few laps there. He was clipping that apron almost on exit before, but it looks fast. I'd have to say whatever he's doing, it looks like it's working right now.
Absolutely maintaining a good enough lead over Eckridge, about half a second or so. Meanwhile, the little bit of contact between Hossack and Higgins down into turn one. That's going to allow Jeff Green to maybe get by the 24. No, Hossack keeps it stuck around the outside of the 2. But Jeff's going to clear now, and Rexing trying to follow.
And on my screen, Jeff Green has a car now, so interesting little development there. The iRacing gods have decided to give him a green and black race car instead of a solid pink one. So I wonder if and we don't see it here, but I somehow got it on my screen now, which is always great to have Trading Paints do its thing. But either way, it doesn't really matter. They can see him on the racetrack, and that's all that matters. I think Scott Eckridge actually he's starting to catch that 95 just a little bit each lap. So. You see Gavin Hibbs actually moving down to the bottom there, maybe deciding that top line is not really working for him, and maybe looking in the mirror, seeing what that 29 is doing, and try to copy it just a little bit.
Absolutely. You see him almost all over the back bumper of the 95.
Yeah, and don't look now, that 11 of Matthew Weeks, he is super quick. He's actually got himself up to the third position. And he's running lap times about 2/10 quicker than Gavin Hibbs up here in the lead right now. So we might see a 3-car battle for the lead here in just a few laps.
Yep, here comes the closer. It's not the end of the race, but it is nearing the end of the stage. So Weeks trying to nab him that stage win. As Phillips, Smith, and Wilkinson follow not that far behind.
We got lap times here. We're looking at about 25.2s is about the pace here that the leaders are setting. Everybody's kind of around that time, or around that mark. Matthew Weeks just a little bit quicker than everyone else around him right now. We're looking at 22 or 25.2s to 25.4s and 5s a little bit further on back there. There's Tate Lytle in the wall. That's not going to help anything for him.
Yeah, Tate finally making his way into the race, 32 laps down, and oh man, after that, I don't know how much longer that 56 is gonna last. It was a hefty hit to the wall, but doesn't look that much worse for the wear.
Yeah, interesting strat there, I'd have to say. Maybe a bit of a unintended quick adjustment to the suspension, but we have a battle for the lead here. Hibbs and Eckridge are going at it. Eckridge has caught that 95, and 95 on the outside line, just a little bit more momentum off that corner. Not able to complete the pass is Eckridge, but I think he is a little bit quicker right now. He's just going to have to find a way around. Might have to try to get himself up on that high line somewhat a little bit, kind of somewhat that line that Hibbs was running a few laps earlier, but it's definitely going to be hard because the lap times are pretty similar right now. And what they're going to do is actually bring Matthew Weeks into this battle even quicker than he would have already. So we're on board with him right now, kind of running the same line. That's not really going to gain you much ground here off of turn number 4.
Yeah, but I don't think he can really try that extreme outside lane unless he gets a little closer to the 95. As you see him starting to stretch it out a little bit, you see it starting to stretch out on your screen as we're following along with the roof cam of Eckridge. But you said it, Cam. Weeks is on the scene. There he is.
And one of the fun things I love about watching Dover on boards is the wheel spin that you get off of every corner here. Turns 2 and turns 4. It's kind of the the whole thing of where you'll hear the engine go "Rah, rah," every time, and that's just one of the hallmarks about Dover that makes it so fun to race as a driver. So you got to keep those rear tires in check at all times, because once the rears go here, you have a miserable time until you pit again. So, yep, definitely a 3-car battle for the lead. Might be having a 4-car battle here if JP Phillips can get up there. He's not too far behind, but all these cars looking pretty fast right now.
Yeah, you're always in a constant slide off corner exit here. That's one of the cool things about this place, and I'm right there with you, Cam. I love this track because of that. It's just so much fun. Matthew Weeks is having fun as he's going to clear Scott Eckridge. Good pass from the 11, and now he's going to try to track down Hibbs and steal the stage win, coming to 5 laps to go in stage 1.
It drove around him, for lack of a better word there, or lack of a better term. He just kind of made the pass and was not too much of a issue there for Weeks. So definitely, I think he is the fastest car on track right now. 4 1,000ths quicker than Gavin Hibbs, but that is 4 1,000ths quicker. They have a lap car up here. Ethan Stanley, he must have pitted or something happened to him, because that's not exactly where we would expect the 91 of Ethan Stanley to be, getting lapped here at lap 40 in the race. But he's going to go ahead and pull over here and let these cars pass. Do I see some front-end damage on that car? I sure do.
Yeah, and I think he made mention that his tires were pretty well toast. So, like you said, Cam, definitely not the race we were expecting from that 91.
Damage on the left front, too. So he hit the inside wall somewhere. I didn't actually see that, but...
Or you wonder if it might have happened from the jumble up on the initial start. You know, Ryan Borges got damaged. Ryan may not have been the only one, as we see.
Yeah, I'm going back to look at it right now, and I think you're absolutely right. He bumped the rear end of the 4 of Zach Rogers pretty good. Actually, center punched the rear end of that car, so that's definitely what gave him the damage. And I'd have to assume that just is making the car drive terrible at this point. Ethan Stanley actually looks like he's pulled off the racetrack maybe. And, yep, he is out of the race, so just not worth it for him.
Meanwhile, here comes Weeks. He's got the pass done on Gavin Hibbs. 1 lap to go in the stage. Now Weeks takes the lead with just about a lap and a half to go. Now Hibbs fighting hard just to hold on to second. Eckridge trying to get by. Oh, contact on the back straightaway between those two.
Yeah, JP Phillips.
Big slide for Eckridge. Off of turn 4, Weeks is going to take the stage win. They're battling, they're bumping. And give P2 to Eckridge, just barely by a nose.
And if you're JP Phillips, you want them to sort this out as soon as they can, because when they get side by side beating and banging like that, you know, you have nowhere to go as the car behind. So JP Phillips, he can see that leader in front of him right now, 6/10 ahead, and probably, you know, he's got somebody coming up on his rear end pretty quickly right now. That would be Tate Lytle, who is not in this lead fight, but he is going to be a problem for these cars in just a few laps. I mean, just a few laps being right now, he is there.
Yeah, Tate, a lot fresher tires with his late start, and he's putting them to use. Gonna just buzz right around JP Phillips, and contact with Hibbs and Eckridge again!
That was almost a disaster right there.
No kidding, heck of a save by Scott Eckridge. Full on drifting corner exit. Hibbs got off the throttle to give him some space, and now he's got a whole lot of space. It's about half a second between those two now, as there goes Tate right on by.
Yeah, and getting pitched there off of turn 4 is I think we've seen that a few times in real life. Who was it? Clint Boyer, I think, in the Nationwide at the time race. He got or maybe it was Logano, I can't remember. It was some black car, but he got pitched up, and then your car, you know, your rear end steps out. You usually chase it up into the wall, then you hit the outside wall, then you hit the inside wall, and it usually is a pretty bad wreck there. So that could have been an absolute disaster for the whole top 5. Good thing that Eckridge was able to save that car.
Absolutely. There's now Tate trying to work his way by.
Definitely seeing the groove widen out just a little bit. 34 Phillips, he was up there kind of where Tate was last time around. Looking a little bit further on back here, that is Gavin Hibbs making the move around Johnny Thomas. That's for the 11th position. Going to pull Jesse Racimus along with him as well.
Yeah, Johnny seems to be fading a little bit. Was solidly in the top 10 not that long ago, but now out of it as Racimus is
slow.
Yeah. Yeah, the struggle bus has hit the depot of the 83.
I think he got, I'm not sure what really happened to him. That was, I think, he was trying to pit and he missed it, and then he had to get back going again.
And, well, isn't that exactly what we were talking about earlier on in the show?
So, unfortunately for him, I think that's what, he's now back in the 26th position. He was up in 11th or so, so about 15 spots lost on account of just missing pit road, and, you know, definitely took the right move of aborting that and not, you know, Matt Kensething the barrels there, but that is just going to be a big loss in position, and he finally gets it back down there, and hopefully no speeding for him or anything like that. I don't see a black flag on my screen, so he is going to be able to get the pit stop done here, but yeah, big loss of track position, and that's not what you want to have here.
Yeah, it's definitely a really early pit stop. I'm not entirely sure what the fuel numbers are, but it feels like that's earlier than what you think. So, curious to see what the strategy is going to be for the 83. Obviously, I'm sure he wasn't. I'm sure this is essentially an unscheduled pit stop, just having to bring it in because of how bad the tires were. But curious to see how he's going to try to recover some sort of finish for himself. Meanwhile, unfortunately, Gavin Higgins, his connection issues strike again. The 20 has dropped his packets, and we've also lost Paul Mikolajczyk as well.
Yeah, you don't want to drop your packets. They need to keep them on the car, inside the car, and that usually keeps the race running along there. So Johnny Thomas, he's back out on track, 2 laps down after that pit stop. I have to agree with you, James. I think, I want to say the fuel number here at Dover is usually around like 90 laps or so, plus or minus some arbitrary number that I'm not going to do math here because I was told there wouldn't be math involved. But in the words of our great Zach Evans, but I want to say it's like 90. So I would definitely expect these front runners to stay out quite a bit longer than that. And I mean, if that is the case, really, Johnny is about halfway through the run. It's going to be pretty much a death sentence on the fuel number. So there's Seth Rawls as well. So, I mean, I could be completely wrong here, but definitely, yeah, these seem very early. Maybe the tires were just wearing that much. Who knows?
Yeah, I think you might be right about that. Meanwhile, you saw Jonathan Cutlip make his way past Hunter Smith up into the top 5.
Yep, and that's a big gain for the 5 of Cutlip. That's up, I think that's 8 positions there. And quick little math in my head. I'll assume that is correct there. So good little gain for him. Good to see some of the drivers that started a little bit further on back make the moves. And, you know, it's really, we're at the point in the run, James, where the tires are pretty much gone. They're going to be at their worst really here. They're going to kind of get a little bit worse to the end of the run, but they're at their worst here as far as wear and all that goes. So they're not going to be there's not a whole lot of grip left in these cars right now. These drivers are fighting for it. Probably some of them out there swatting flies inside the car a little bit and just trying to hang on until we get a caution or they actually get to the green flag pit stop window that they're looking for. You see Johnny Thomas there, those fresh tires. I mean, he probably feels like a hero right now, being so much faster than everybody there, but a couple other drivers looking to pit in. Zach Rogers, he's back in 25th. Hearing he's going to be pitting in. There he is.
Meanwhile, a little further up at the front, things are really heating up for the battle of the lead. Scott Eckridge is right on the back of Matthew Weeks for the lead of this race.
Yeah, we had a battle for the lead and a battle for second there. Gavin Hibbs and JP Phillips actually, we didn't see it on our screen, but Gavin Hibbs got all sorts of sideways out of turn number 4. Actually tank slapped the wall just a little bit, but kept it going straight enough to not really lose the spot there. And yeah, definitely Eckrich has caught back up to that 11 of Matthew Weeks. So Matthew Weeks, I mean, he got the stage. He kept the tires under it for 45 laps there, better than anyone else. But Scott Eckrich, I mean, he's going to drive around the 11 here through turns 1 and 2, and he might be playing the long game.
Yeah, drove around him as effortlessly as Weeks drove around him towards the end of stage 1.
And both of these drivers, they're about we'll call that about a second and a half ahead of that battle for second between Hibbs and Phillips. And then it's about a further second on back to Cutlip. And then it strings out a little bit there. There's Gerald Campbell coming into the pits. He was, I believe, back in 24th or 22nd or so. There's Harrison Talion coming in the DoorDash number 51.
Oh, meanwhile, the battle for P11 is really heating up. Well, we were nearly 3 wide for a second. Rexing and Wilkinson all over the back of Jeff Green here. It's going to be real tight off of 4.
Yep, Jeff Green actually blocking his old car there in the 10 car off of turn number 2. Yeah, always fun to see that. But yeah, this is absolutely a wad right here. And, you know, I said this a few laps ago. R.C. Enerson, he wants them to figure it out because there is nowhere to go for him right now.
And meanwhile, everyone who's pitted is watching this with nervous eyes, hoping it doesn't go bad, because that will likely be the end of their race if that caution comes out right now.
I'm actually, when I'm thinking about it, well, actually, I'm looking at this battle too. This goes all the way back to P18, that number 66 of Tommy Ryan. They're all kind of together right now, so I'd have to say that Jeff Green has a bit of and I'm going to use an old F1 term here. He has a bit of a truly train behind him right now. So this car is behind him just a little bit quicker, but cannot get around that number 2 car. I think Jared Rexing's going to have a good try here. And sure enough, there he goes.
Yeah, Rexing, Enerson, and Tyler Popp able to get past the 2 car. And now Enerson and Hibbs are doing battle. And here comes Jeff Green onto pit road.
Getting it woed up there. I think he got it. It's just always stressful watching these cars come.
MP3. Sorry to cut you off, but Gavin Hibbs just said he's going to be bringing it down this lap. So the first of the top 10.
So that tells me
bringing it in.
That tells me that our fuel number was probably somewhere around 80 or 90 or so, or maybe even 70. Because we're getting to that part. It definitely was not to the point where they could save a little bit of fuel and make it on 1 stop. So it's definitely going to be at least a 2-stopper here for these drivers. Jeff Green down and away. There's Pop, Wilkinson. Wilkinson, he needed this pit stop. He was on the struggle bus big time. He needs to get those tires changed and reset a little bit there. So that'll be good for him.
And meanwhile, Scott Eckrich has gapped Matthew Weeks. It is a second and a half, taking the 11 to Gapplebees. Not often we can say that here in Elite.
Jeff Ryan actually, he's a meatball flag for something. I didn't even see much damage on the car, but he hit something.
No, I think that might be a tire wear meatball. I think he completely blew the right front or the right rear off of that 3 car.
That definitely could be, yep. A set of tires in NASCAR is about $2,000, and he said he's going to use every ounce of what he has on the car. And drove him right off the car there, and you are correct on that. So, yeah, the tire wear here tonight seems to be pretty brutal for some of these cars. Some faring better than others, obviously, as always is going to be the case. But yes, definitely for Wilkinson and Ryan and some of the others that have fallen back, it is looking pretty gruesome out there.
Yeah, and it's also terrifying watching the difference in the tires. Like, you saw the fresh tires absolutely left Chris Wright like he was standing still, like he was out there in an ARCA car. And this is the winner of the season opener, mind you. So that's just the difference in pace from fresh tires to these old tires. And that's nerve-wracking if you're the cars on the fresher tires, because the difference in pace could end up causing the caution that all those that pitted do not want to see. Look at that. My goodness.
And looking here, yeah, that was Gerald Campbell going around. This is Jacob Adams on the pit road here. Scott Eckrich, he's chilling right now. He's about 2.5 seconds out in front of a wad of cars out there behind him. He's looking at his mirror and seeing lots of clean air, which is just exactly what you always want to see. Doing a great job. Just as I kind of, there's Hasek with a blown tire. Oh, that's not good for Rawls behind him.
And now you wonder, you see Weeks and Phillips in, you wonder what Eckrich is going to do. Does he dare try to see if he can stretch it to the end of stage 2 and get himself the stage win?
Yeah, that would be an interesting strat. I don't know if because if all the cars around him are going to be hitting here, and I think, there's Kaner, I heard R.C. Enerson is going to be coming down. I think if I was Eckrich, I would probably cut my losses here. And
he's bringing it in this time. Eckrich, the race leader, is given the command. Oh, nice. Austin Abnett got the wall a little bit off of turn 4.
So for Eckrich here, it's just going to be a matter of getting it on a pit road, no mistakes. Oh, yeah, that's going to be one.
Oh, he's going to hold on to it. Oh, no. Black flag for Scott Eckrich. Oh, my goodness. That is devastating.
Just tried to get a little bit too much out of that pit entry there. And, I'd say that hindsight is 20/20, but with the lead he had, I don't think there was too much reason to try to take that much there. And he's actually going to almost overshot his pit stall there, but he is good to go. But that black flag is going to be absolutely devastating to his race. He's going to have to take a drive-through. And probably, well, he might not fall up the lead lap here if things go his way there. But that is going to give the lead to Scott Crump there in the 90 car.
Yeah, Eckrich was thankfully able to get his black flag cleared in time so he can just serve a drive-through. But that's still going to kneecap his race. So you see, here comes Harrison Talon getting one of his laps back around Scott Crump.
Oh, another mistake for Eckrich. He missed pit road.
Oh, no.
Missed it first drive-through. That is not what you wanted to see, and it's when it rains, it pours.
Meanwhile, R.C. Enerson has retired from the race. I'm thinking he might have got himself a black flag as well. Now he's definitely going to get there. Oh, heartbreaking. Meanwhile, Scott Crump is on pit road. Race leader right now is the 70 of Jesse Racimus.
Checking back on Enerson, he was definitely speeding on pit road there. Had the tires locked up, smoking. Almost did the same thing Eckrich did, just with a little bit less yaw there on the pit entry here. Here's Racimus coming in. Oh, wow. He's speeding. No way he made that one.
You are correct.
Crazy. This pit road, yeah, I mean, right as you said, James, at the beginning of the broadcast, just about this pit road is brutal, and we're seeing Elite's best out here tonight. Just a lot of them having trouble with it.
Yeah, it really drives home the point of green flag pit stops are the worst thing imaginable here. Meanwhile, race leader is currently the 66 of Tommy Ryan.
I think once we actually cycle out pit stops, the leader of the race is going to be the 5 of Jonathan Cutlip, if I'm not mistaken. He's got himself in front of Gavin Hibbs. So we know he was fast there early on.
Sorry to interrupt you, Cam, but Meatball for the 15 Chad will get it on to pit road clean and green.
Yeah, this is not an Italian restaurant. You do not want meatballs here for those tires wearing out. I mean, once you blow the tire out, you're going to lose all your pace and all your kind of turning ability there. But just you see a lot of these drivers trying to take it long, and unfortunately, the tire were a little bit too much to handle there. There's Racimus coming back in for his drive-through, and he's going to get another one because he was speeding once again on that pit entry right there. So not going well for him tonight.
Oof, size big.
Tommy Ryan here definitely looks like he's going to try to make the stage at lap 90, which we're 3 laps away from that.
Yeah, this is going to be a big strategy call for Ryan. Tommy was running about outside the top 15, so looks like he's going to parlay it to at least some good stage points here to help offset. He's going to be 2 laps down when he does make his stop, but he's going to have much fresher tires.
Yeah, and if we got a caution about right now, he would be the smartest man on the racetrack because he would be able to get his tires, and I think everybody else behind him would probably get freshies again, because even really like 5-10 laps here at Dover can be a huge hit on the tires. So I definitely don't think we're going to get it. It has that kind of green feel right now, so he's got 1 more lap here before that stage is over. He's got 10 and change seconds back to Jonathan Cutlip, who has put about a second on Gavin Hibbs. Once Ryan pits, it'll be Cutlip, followed by Gibbs, and then Hibbs, not Gibbs. That's the Cup Series driver that is mired in some controversy right now, but 4 seconds back to him, and then or about 4 seconds back to Eidson, who will be 3rd. So to assume that Ryan will probably be pitting here probably next lap, I would assume. Our stage is going to be right now.
Tommy Ryan, winner of stage 2 with the fantastic strategy call. Big 10 points for the 66 as gets a bit of a bump from the 90, a crump, and yep, you called it, Cam. Here he comes.
Yep, little bonk from behind from Scott Crump saying, "Get out of my way, you are slower than me," and he certainly was. Crump running back in the 16th position, and that was his lap back for Scott Crump to get that car out of his way. No mistake here for Tommy Ryan. A beautiful pit entry for him, if not a little bit slow, but the stakes are a lot higher if you speed than if you're a little bit slow here on pit entry. So he'll pull into the box to get 4 fresh tires and fuel, and away he'll go.
Meanwhile, Kyle Hanshaw has called it quits. Another retirement from tonight's race. Meanwhile, like you said, there is your race leader, the 5 of Jonathan Cutlip.
Up and up. Played some. He played the long game. I would say he was about 2nd or 3rd there, and with the mistakes from Eckrich, able to capitalize on that, and definitely looking pretty fast out here right now. Over a 1.5 seconds clear of Gavin Hibbs there in 2nd, and he's got about 7 seconds to Trey Eidson back in 3rd. So doing a great job, just kind of keeping the wheels under that car, running a bit of a higher line through the corners, at least through 1 and 2 there, cutting it down to the bottom, kind of what we saw Hibbs do earlier. And I mean, yeah, it's got that green feel right now. That little wad that we saw a little while ago between Jeff Green and company, it looks like it's starting to, well, looked like it was starting to come back to fruition, and then it didn't.
Yeah, there is a bit of a big stack of cars around Crump, Smith, and Thomas.
Rawls up there, slid up the racetrack. He's going to lose a couple spots to Thomas and Rexing. I think, yeah, Seth was one of the first cars that pitted there, so he might already be kind of losing the handling of that car. Johnny Thomas was the first car that pitted, and he definitely is starting to lose that handle, kind of having some trouble keeping that race car on the bottom of the racetrack. You see he's running up there almost in the marbles and just trying to hang on for right now until maybe, some of these drivers probably just looking for a caution. He's going to get passed here by Rexing for the 13th position. And James, I think caution-free race at Dover. I don't want to bring it up. I just did, but not something that is out of the realm of possibility. And I say that because way back in the day, we're talking about 2014, as part of the we did 100% races for the Gen 6 release, or 2013, excuse me. I was in one of those races, and it was a full-length 400 laps at Dover that went caution-free somehow. I don't know how. I don't know what happened or what was in the water that day, but that was the toughest race I have ever ran on the service. And this being someone who's ran 24-hour races, the 12 hours of Bathurst, Sebring, a lot more like that. This place will wear you the heck out. So just maybe some, even in 200 laps, you can definitely get some fatigue in there and start feeling it a little bit.
Absolutely, as we're just about halfway through.
Brandon Wilkinson on the screen. Looks like he's been able to stabilize his position just a little bit right there, running in front of Ethan Burrell and the 37 behind him. But he kind of slid back to about 8th from 3rd and then kind of stayed around that back half of the top 10. So definitely not buzzing the tires on this run, not getting sideways on the restart, and has figured it out just a little bit more than he did previously on that first run. But yeah, doing a good job. That number 90 of Crump looks fast behind these two. I think he might be looking to be in the fight here in just a moment. He's probably going to be pretty elementary here with Ethan Burrell.
Meanwhile, it sounds like Seth Rawls is bringing it down pit road. Yes, he is. So it looks like Seth might be going for the 3-stop strategy here.
Certainly could be the case. Yeah, he pitted on lap 55, it looks like, last time. So not sure how that's going to work out for him. We'll have to check back up on that later, but definitely if others are going 2-stop, you would kind of want to avoid that. But with the way the tires have been wearing, and we might see some more meatballs and maybe even a crash if somebody does it, overdoes it way too much. But definitely would have to think that the 2-stopper would be the preferred strategy. But I am also not in the car, so let the drivers that know what they're doing kind of make that decision here. And there's Tommy Ryan on Scott Crump here. Tommy Ryan's actually, he's actually a lap down and just some change. He is the 10th car lap down right now, so he's got the fresh tires. We saw him, obviously, stage 2 winner, Tommy Ryan, trying to get himself back.
Oh, contact! Oh, no! Crump and Rogers, but we stay green.
For now, and Zach Rogers, that car is going to stop and turn.
And there it is. The caution is out. Oh, boy.
103 laps into the race. What a run here at Dover. But yes, definitely to see what happened here on the replay. This is after the contact. The caution actually came out because it looks like Zach Rogers got stuck in the turn 1 wall a little bit.
Let's see.
I think Crump might have just come up into the 4 car there a little bit.
Yeah, that's kind of what it looked like to me. Didn't really seem like the 4 could have gone up any higher. But yeah, you see Zach doing the smartest thing he could do and just kind of keep it up by the wall. But like you said, it doesn't look like he had much choice on the matter.
Yeah, and what a weird, I thought he was just, it was a decently hard enough hit but into the wall with the 90, but I didn't think that was going to break the car or anything. I'm not sure why that car really stopped like it did, but either way, kind of a moot point at this point. We are under caution, and for Zach Rogers' sake, I've hit those walls many times here. They do not ever move, so he could not have done really much to kind of alleviate the initial contact with Crump there, but yeah, definitely just a weird accident all around.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, we're going to go ahead and take our first break of the night, and we'll be back shortly.
Tickets are on sale now for the 5th Enjoy Illinois 300 at Worldwide Technology Raceway. September 11th through 13th brings a full weekend of action with the NASCAR Cup Series, NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, and St. Louis's biggest music festival, Confluence. The stars shine on and off the track, and your ticket gets you everything: cars, concerts, camping, food, and fun. Don't miss it. Get your tickets now and save big at WWTRaceway.com.
Blue Egg Marketing. Rev up your business with Blue Egg, your marketing pit crew. Turbocharge your lead generation with experienced drivers that can navigate the competitive track to connecting with your customers. With Blue Egg, you're always in the pole position, leading your brand towards victory lane. So don't spin your wheels, accelerate success with Blue Egg, fueling small businesses to win big.
This is Bobby Bolin from Tom Bolin Ford, and I have huge news for you. Right now, we are offering interest rates as low as 3.99 on most of our used cars. That's right, 3.99 happening right now. And it gets even better. These used vehicles come with the Bolin Lifetime Powertrain Warranty, giving you protection for the long haul. This is your chance to save big with incredible rates and shop our wide variety of trucks, vans, SUVs, and cars. Only at Tom Bolin Ford in Hannibal. Heck of a deal!
The Lucas Oil School of Racing. Simply stated, we are the professional ranks where the quality of the equipment often dictates the outcomes, and all of our cars are designed to perform and race as close as humanly possible. None of our competitors will have an advantage from engineering tactics. Rather, you will compete on a completely level field with a score of immensely talented up-and-coming drivers, all pushing each other to reach their new heights in their respective pursuit in becoming a professional race car driver. Every year, our top-performing graduates move on to the professional racing ladders of IndyCar, F1, and IMSA. Whether drivers compete in 1 or 2 seasons of our series, when they are ready to move on, they are ready to move. The training you receive in our school is an unmatched, unforgettable, first-class education combining the very best racing instruction and education.
All right, welcome.
We back yet?
Welcome back here to the Dover Motor Speedway, and we missed the restart there for you. Apologies about that, but big developments here. Jonathan Cutlip, the leader at the caution, our first caution of the night, 103 laps into the race. He pulled into his pit, and he did not ever pull back out. He's actually left the session and has retired from the event, so that has given the lead to Gavin Hibbs, who got a great restart here and has gapped the number 11 of Matthew Weeks by about 0.3 of a second.
Yeah, a lot of chaos that happened. Also, momentarily single file restarts, but thankfully the restart went on as bad as well you could hope for in light of everything. But you see Hibbs start to pull away from Weeks here, about half a second in front.
Yeah, and a bit of a kerfuffle there with the race control situation, and nothing on race control's part, just kind of a confusion on the restarts and such like that. So we definitely did not we didn't really know what was going on either up here in the booth, but they are racing again. They got underway, and the cars are racing at full speed again at Dover, so not going to question it too much here. Gavin Hibbs, he has been up there all night, was your pole sitter, has been fast, has not been the fastest car on the long run, but he's through some good luck and good grace up here at the front again, and trying to hold off that number 11 of Matthew Weeks, who saw him win stage number 1 at lap 45, and then it was the 29 of Scott Eckrich, who looked to be the fastest car on the long runs. He is actually back on the lead lap after having that pit road penalty. He is now back in the 22nd position, which, you know, long way to get back up at the front. He's 10.8 seconds behind the leader right now, but the good news is he is on the lead lap. So if we get a couple more cautions here and such like that, he could be right back up in the thick of things here. But right now, yeah, all Hibs and Weeks as we work lap number 115 here. So these laps as we get there, James, they will go by quickly here. About 85 laps to go. Those will click by pretty quick if we can keep it green.
Yeah, everyone was. A lot of people were doing the caution dance there, and that helped out so many people. Like you said, Eckrich was able to get the wave around and get back on the lead lap, and now he is still doing the caution dance, trying to make sure he can get on better tires and actually try to fight and make his way back up. And although is it me, or does it look like the front of that 29 car is center punched a little bit there?
I do not think it is you. That certainly looks to be the case. The splitter is just a little bit punched in there. Not terrible, but I'm not sure if we had another kerfuffle here on the restart. So if I can look at that, I don't think that was the case. Might have ran into... Well, actually, no. That certainly looks to be the case. Might go back and look at it a third time. And, if I am actually correct, he ran into, it would be the 71 of Dave Carpenter as they were coming to green. So, yeah, that's what happened to him.
Yeah, it continues to go from bad to worse there for the 29.
We're hearing that the restart kerfuffle was actually because the IndyCar restarts were still on here. So, obviously, IndyCar doesn't do double file restarts. That's why we were single file, but it was not actually... I'm not sure if it was communicated very well. I think we just kind of had a audible called to double up, which obviously gave about 3/4 of the field a black flag here. So, bit of a shame there to have that something like that happen. But either way, not too much of an issue if we can just clear them. Scott Eckrich, he's coming down pit road now. See if he can get it woed up. He does. I don't think it's a black flag for the 29. He might just be looking to maybe fix that car or even retire from the event. We'll see. I'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, and of course the issues with the lobby from the IndyCar race is also why we ended up with the open qualifying there. So, just one of them nights, it would appear.
Yep, certainly. And it happens to the best of us. And, well, it might happen if you had a little bit more of the best of us. So, all good. All good.
Post the meme!
Looks like Eckert's there. He took 2 tires, I believe. So he's down and away. Going to lose that lap that he gained back on that last caution there. But going to keep back going there and... Still a little bit damage on the front end.
Contact! Oh! Jay Connor to the inside wall, and he's going back up the track!
No caution. He's going again. Gets the car up or down on the apron there in turns 1 and 2. He is rolling. A lot of damage there in the left front. I think he plunked that inside wall pretty hard. Actually, I think he popped the hood up for just a moment there, on my screen at least.
Yeah, I am very surprised that wasn't a caution right there.
Yeah, big hit for the 9. I mean, he was in the top 10 earlier, and that's going to be effectively race over for him. I see the suspension looks like it's not really all in the right direction like it should be there on all 4 corners of the car, and he's going to come down pit road and might be another retirement of the event. I mean, if we look at the retirements in the event tonight, it's really we have 32nd on back, minus Tate Lytle, who's 51 laps down, but still out there. But it's kind of a who's who of elite. If you looked at the retirement list here, which is crazy to think about.
Yeah, unfortunately, it really has been a graveyard smash for most of the league, it feels like, tonight. Not many cautions, but Miles has definitely been hungry.
Yeah, you'd think this was like one of the old 500-mile races they ran back in the day, which were always just the always heard from the drivers that actually did those. I think it was even before my time. I think the last one they ran was 95 or whatever. But apparently those were the most brutal races to do, even more than like the 600 miler at Charlotte, just because of the way this track is and the G-forces that you're constantly pulling in the corners with the banking here. You never get off the banking. I mean, the straightaways here, we mentioned it early on, make 9 degrees, and then it goes to 24 in the corners. So just pulling G's all around the racetrack, and that does a lot of damage. Not really damage, but that puts a lot of strain on the car and driver.
No kidding. Also, don't give Chad any ideas for a 500-mile race around here.
Maybe we'll do it in the IndyCars since we got the IndyCar session. Which, I mean, I guess a fun fact is the IRL back in the day, like 98, 99, they did actually run here. So one of the fun little tidbits of old school IndyCar racing. Definitely not a track I think of when I think of IndyCar, but they did do it, and surprisingly, nobody got hurt from it. So.
Yeah, I remember in Toka Race Driver 3, it having IndyCar and it having races at Dover. That was how I learned that IndyCar ran at Dover. And I'm like, how in the world did they run IndyCars at this place? You know, you talk about Texas and when that made everyone, on the verge of passing out from vertigo and all that. I'm over here surprised that it wasn't an issue for Dover too, because good gracious, those speeds at this track. But meanwhile, the battle for the lead is heating up. Here comes Weeks. About right on time for the 11.
We'll call that about 25 laps into the run or so, and it was about 45 last time where he really got alive here, and I think this is going to be a short battle, I think, because that 11 is cooking right now. He's below that 95 of Hibbs and keeping that car lower on exit. I think we might see it right here through 3 and 4. There goes the 11 of Matthew Weeks into the lead.
Yeah, Hibbs gave it everything he had, but nothing he could do to hold off the 11. Matthew Weeks back to the lead of this race.
Yeah, and maybe Hibbs thinking to himself, we saw Matthew Weeks kind of scoot off to the lead earlier in this race. It was 45 because he got the stage. It was about 40 laps really where he started. He got to that point, and then Eckrich was the faster car after about 60 or so. So maybe Hibbs saw that, and maybe he's just going to back his pace up a little bit, kind of ride behind the 11, maybe try some different lines, maybe try something different with the steering or the braking, or there's so many things you can do as a driver to change the way you drive the entry and exit to these corners. I would have to think that maybe, trying to adjust here and get that car a little bit quicker later on in the run where it's really going to make a difference.
Absolutely. Though that is a bit surprising to see, because obviously we're all well aware of Weeks and his ability to stretch his stuff out and wait until the end to make his move. You always seem to see him at his best towards the end of the run and pulling away from everyone. So it was surprising to see basically his own voodoo being used against him there in stage 2 with Eckrich.
Yeah, and you just hate when that happens to you as a driver, because you think you have it figured out, and then somebody uses your tricks against you, and then it's like, oh, well, dang, they learned it probably from him. So I've raced Weeks back in the day and some other leagues, and definitely, he was really good at doing that himself. And I figured out sometimes that he's got tricks. I'm going to use them against him myself, and it's always fun when we can do that. Very, you pass them on the racetrack, and you're kind of laughing under the helmet a little bit there, but a little bit further on back behind Hibbs, we got a couple of our top 5-ish drivers all night. Eidson and Phillips are right there, and then not too far back, Tyler Popp. He's moved up from 25th, about a second and a half or so behind this battle. There he is right there, taking Jeff Green along with him. Jeff Green's had a really good night up there in 6th.
Yeah, he's really rebounded in the last 20 laps or so. He was about round 12th or 13th for a good chunk of this race, but is able to move himself well into the top 10. And you see Gerald Campbell as well. He was a lap down not too long ago from his own pit sequence, but things worked out well enough to where he's got some serious speed here well into the top 10 himself. This is a hornet's nest right here.
Yep, going around the lap car of Chris Wright there. He is, Chris Wright himself is, well, where is he? He's actually in the 19th position. He's the first car lap down, so trying to be in that position when we get a caution if we are going to get one again. So racing Connor Thompson for that. And, he has every right to be where he is on the racetrack. He's on the inside line holding this line there, so nothing really anybody can do about it. A couple cars ahead of here. I say a couple. It is one ahead of Brandon Wilkinson. That's Jacob Adams. And he started back in 38th, all the way back there. Did not actually run a qualifying lap and is doing a good job here running right behind that number 10 of Rexing, up 30 spots right now. 29 actually, because he's in 9th, but a lot of cars to pass at Dover and doing a good job of keeping his nose clean. There's no damage on that race car, which, starting all the way back there in 38th, kind of hard to do sometimes.
Yeah, phenomenal run for Adams. The biggest mover by far, like you said, doing the first challenge so far up to P9, but meanwhile the battle for second is heating up. Trey Eidson about near shoving Gavin Hibbs into the corner.
Yeah, and looking at these lines that these drivers are running, a lot of them have moved up even more so. So I definitely think, we've seen about the extent of how much this track is going to widen out, the groove up there. Some of these drivers almost up there in the wall. Really cool to see. Dover used to be a one.
Contact Hibbs into the wall! Big sideways for the 95 and was not able to keep it out of the safer barrier. There goes Eidson by and JP Phillips as well.
And the wall here tonight, must be a Dover thing or whatever, but it seems like if you get in it a certain way, it just stops the momentum of the car because he lost all of his speed down the front stretch, lost 2 spots immediately and got it back going. I don't think there's too much damage on that race car. Actually, checking on my end, I don't see any. But definitely just lost a ton of speed there, so I don't think there was anything egregious that was done there by Eidson.
Yeah, heck of a job from Hibbs to hold on to that. I was having flashbacks of what happened to Jay Connor when he made that wall contact. Thankfully for Gavin, able to gather it back up, and like you said, that 95 doesn't seem too worse for the wear now. Still holding on to P4.
But Matthew Weeks, he enjoyed seeing that because that put his lead up to 1.2 seconds and increasing just a little bit. Here's Harry Talion in the hits once again. He was in the 22nd position before he pitted, and he's got another meatball, so burnt the tires off of that machine once again. DoorDash not going to be too happy about that. That might breach their terms of service just a little bit there, but I'm going to get that. Gavin Hibbs in the pits now, so maybe pulling some strategy.
Yeah, probably not the worst idea after his struggles in the last few laps.
Probably deciding to try to be on the other end of that strategy now. Probably get the new tires on early and scoot out to a lead here. Trey Eidson, he knows what happened. He's going to follow Gavin Hibbs in here and gets it under. Yep, there he goes. No mistake on pit entry. We're going to have to look for that again. That was the killer of so many races just not too long ago. But Trey Eidson in that Shift Esports machine doing a good job of keeping it under control there.
Yeah, and that makes sense because you saw how well Jonathan Cutlip was able to use that strategy. He had basically a massive lead over everyone before that caution finally came out. So it definitely seems like the undercut is ridiculously effective, which is a surprise to me because I figured the overcut might have been the way to go. But they weren't gaining much time on Cutlip. in the meantime.
Definitely the floodgates are open here. Michael Hosick, left front tire locked up completely there for about 600 yards, but not going to matter too much. They're going to change those tires and put new ones on that 24 machine. Currently in the 16th position. He was one lap down trying to get that lucky dog position from, it was Chris Wright a few laps ago. But we're kind of in the middle of a pit cycle here, so that's going to change a few times. Seth Rawls here in the 15th position. Another one of those drivers who was right up there on the cusp. He's coming in. Jeff Ryan behind him. Oh, Jeff Ryan almost in the back of him. So definitely got to think what Pop and Weeks are thinking right now. Weeks out there 3 seconds ahead of Tyler Pop. Jeff Green about 4.2 and change behind. And, you know, you got to be thinking, James, like you said, that the undercut here has been extremely effective. So you can't stay out there too much longer before you're going to get, basically passed once you come into the pits. So be interesting to see when they decide to come in here, and maybe some of these drivers a little bit further on maybe going to stay out long and try to hope for a caution. The drivers like Hunter Smith, Johnny Thomas, Scott Crump, the back half of the top 10 there. I mean, they have really nothing to lose if they stay out long here. Try to maybe gamble a little bit.
Yeah, well, you say that, here comes Tyler Pop bringing it in. Ooh.
I think he was good at looked fast, but he was good. Yep, no black flag for him.
Yeah, it looked like he was going way faster than pit road speed on the roof cam, but thankfully for him, he is good to go from avoiding the black flag on entry. But yeah, to me, on high tire wear tracks like here, Homestead, Darlington, the overcut can work, but you have to kind of change your range on when you would go for it. Because to me, on normal tire wear tracks like a Vegas or a Charlotte, I would tend to go maybe about 10 laps longer than the people I'm running with to get the overcut advantage without having to give me too much of a gap to try to overcome. But for these high tire wear tracks, I adjusted to about 5 laps. And to me, that still gives the advantage of the fresher tires pretty good to allow you to overcome that gap, but not giving you way too much to overcome. Now, Weeks has gone way past that 5 lap window. I think he's about, 10 laps now since Gavin Hibbs pit, so like my normal track range.
Oh, we got a problem. We got a big problem.
Oh my goodness, yeah, it is Chad. Post the memes. The other memes. Oh boy.
I'm not sure if that was entirely Chad, but that definitely, he was wrecking, but that might have been
Yeah, it looked like Tyler Pop was very close in the vicinity of that 15 car.
Connor Thompson almost involved there. Wow.
And Mark Robilis. Oh goodness. Crash that Bitcoin car hard. There's a crypto joke to be made in there somewhere.
Interesting that those two ran into each other. Always funny when it happens, but definitely, yeah, that's going to be effectively race over for Robilis, and that rear end of the 15 does not look like it is in the right position at all. I think that right rear tire is kind of up in the wheel well there. We're going to be on board here with Robilis, and right up into the rear end. He destroyed the rear suspension of Chad's car. I think that's going to be race over for both of them. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, we're going to go ahead and take our second break, and we'll be back again.
The Lucas Oil School of Racing. Simply stated, We are the professional ranks where the quality of the equipment often dictates the outcomes, and all of our cars are designed to perform and race as close as humanly possible. None of our competitors will have an advantage from engineering tactics. Rather, you will compete on a completely level field with a score of immensely talented up-and-coming drivers, all pushing each other to reach their new heights in their respective pursuit in becoming a professional race car driver. Every year, our top-performing graduates move on to the professional racing liners of IndyCar, F1, and IMSA. Whether drivers compete in 1 or 2 seasons of our series, when they are ready to move on, they are ready to move. The training you receive in our school is an unmatched, unforgettable, first-class education combining the very best racing instruction and education.
Looking for a heck of a deal? You'll find it at Tom Bolin Ford in Hannibal. Right now, over $4,000 off 2025 Escapes, $2,500 off 2025 Broncos, and over $5,000 off select new 2025 F-150s. And the best part, every one of them comes with a Bolin lifetime powertrain warranty at no extra cost. Big savings, long-term peace of mind, all in one place. Tom Bolin Ford Hannibal. Heck of a deal, ain't it?
Blue Egg Marketing. Rev up your business with Blue Egg, your marketing pit crew. Turbocharge your lead generation with experienced drivers that can navigate the competitive track to connecting with your customers. With Blue Egg, you're always in the pole position, leading your brand towards victory lane. So don't spin your wheels, accelerate success with Blue Egg, fueling small businesses to win big.
Alrighty, we are back, and we are 1 to green here. I think we actually just got delayed. Interesting.
The restart shenanigans continue here at Dover. I don't think that anyone's too sad that we are having another lap here, because I think the back half of the field was kind of somewhat all over the place. They still kind of are. So hopefully they can figure that out amongst themselves. But just a little re-rack of the top 10, why don't we? Matthew Weeks, Jared Rexing, Jeff Green, that's your top 3. Brandon Wilkinson, he's got himself back up to the 4th position. So whatever handling woes he was seeing early on, he's figured that out and doing it pretty well. Josh Adams and Jacob Adams, the brothers, are in 5th and 6th. 7th is Ethan Burrell. Scott Crump is 8th. Hunter Smith is 9th, and Johnny Thomas up in the 10th position. So, yeah, a lot of stories here tonight, James. Stories of heartbreak, stories of resilience, and through it all, Matthew Weeks has been the most consistent force, and he's up there leading tonight.
And also the latest one to pit, which, as you saw, it worked out very well since he gets to hold on to the lead. Meanwhile, Hibbs, Eidson, and Phillips, they are outside the top. In fact, wow, JP Phillips is still the last car 1 lap down in 23rd, so rough break for Phillips. But here we go. The pace car makes the hard left-hand turn onto pit road. Matthew Weeks will lead us back to the restart zone. Green means go. We're back underway at Dover. A nightmare restart for Jared Rexing. My goodness. That's going to allow Jeff Green to jump up into P2 easily.
Yeah, but it's just so hard to restart there on the outside like that. You're kind of waiting for the leader to go, and then, they go before you're ready, and you're spinning your tires all the way. But Jared Rexing immediately back up in a second. He says no thank you to Jeff Green. I'll take it back. And Jeff Green looking to lose that spot from Brandon Wilkinson here.
Yeah, see the 26 all over the back of the 2. Brandon jumps to the outside, trying to get the run. He's not going to get the position, but he is going to get the momentum. And here he comes down to the inside of the 2. Oh, tries a late apex in. Maybe a little bit of contact with the 2. But Wilkinson is going to get the spot. Oh, meanwhile, Scott Crump made some contact with the wall off of turn 4 a little bit. Doesn't seem too worse for the Wares. Here comes Hibbs looking to the outside of Crump. Oh, and he's going to back out of it, thankfully, for the safety of practically everybody. As Johnny Thomas is trying to clear Crump in the meantime. Oh, and now there's more contact with Hibbs. And there Crump goes around. Oh, my goodness. Oh, Crump back up into the wall, into his teammate. Oh, no, here comes everybody else. Oh, wow. Somehow that didn't get worse.
Yep,
Oh.
I think we saw that coming from about a lap behind or a lap before that. And just down here in the turns 3 and 4 ended the speedway. I think that one's pretty cut and dry. 95 of Hibbs into the back of the 90. Just not sure if he misjudged the speed that Scott was going to take that corner, but you know, definitely. And Hibbs into the wall just a little bit, but he got some right rear damage on that race car, which is not going to help his handling. But definitely not any more than that.
And you see big contact from the 56 into the 90. 2 Lake Norman cars. Then the 90 ended up getting knocked back up the track into another Lake Norman car of Austin and Abnett.
On board here with Tate. And whoa, he got plowed in the back from someone there. I didn't see who that was.
I think it might be Hunter Smith. Because there was some gnarly damage on the front of that 54 car. Yep.
Yeah, sure was. That was pretty cut and dry right there. The hood flapping back down. And just bang! That is a huge hit. And, well, sponsor plug.
I want you to bring me back the trophy or the steering wheel. Oh, and Scott not happy with the 95.
Yeah, we got
oh,
beef on the
it's
radio.
getting spicy. Yep, you said it. We got beef. Oh.
The elite tradition of beef with a certain driver of the 90 being involved with it. It's always, as someone who spots on Wednesdays for Danny G, you know, I obviously don't race here, but I am in tune with some of it, and it's great entertainment. So it's always great to hear the beef that we can get in the Elite Racing League in some situations there. But Gavin, you know, Gavin himself was not happy about that caution coming out, of course, being on the wrong end of the strategy, and Crump, you know, rightfully so, not happy about getting plunked in the back and spun around in 3 and 4 and then hit by a few other cars. So I'd say both valid crash outs there. I think we'll figure it out. They'll have to talk that one out and figure it out later. But Gavin Hibbs, he's got himself up to 6th through all that. So, you know, not restarting 11th this time, which I mean, it's a net gain for the 95.
Absolutely. As we see the pace car getting ready to make the hard left-hand turn onto pit road. Matthew Weeks will lead us back to the restart zone. And green means go. We're back underway at Dover. Much better jump for Jared Rexing this time around. But he still has the 26th to contend with. Brandon on the low line. He's got the speed, but Rexing has the position and he's got the momentum from the top. Whoa, Brandon slides up just a little bit in the center of the corner. As Rexing almost got an opportunity to take the lead. Here he comes, dives to the bottom of Weeks for the race lead.
A mammoth run for the 10 there off of turn number 4. He got all sorts of speed. And yeah, off of turn number 2, he's going to be side by side with the 11 of Weeks. He's going to have to drive off into turn 3. Dangerous position to be in. But yeah, definitely looking strong here.
Matthew Weeks lamented his short run pace a couple of cautions ago. And right now it's proven right, as here we go. New leader, Jared Rexing. Weeks is not giving it up though, but he will this time.
Yeah, but Rexing is, he's not had the ultimate pace of the other cars around him. Certainly not that of Weeks or maybe even Brandon Wilkinson, but definitely has ran a steady, slow-paced race here and has chosen the right moments to be fast and aggressive, and finds himself out here in front of the 10 or the 11 car here tonight. And you know, good racecraft, I'd say, for him tonight.
Yeah, one thing I've seen over the past few weeks is that there's a lot of short run pace in the 10 car. Jared kind of fades a little bit on the long runs, but he is absolutely quick on the short runs. And we're only going to have, I believe, 27 laps to go when we get back to the line. So it's not the shortest run, but it's not the longest run either. So we'll see what the 10 car can do in the clean air. As here comes Ethan Burrell battling for position. He's going to get by Johnny Thomas up into P4.
Yeah, Burrell, another one of those slow but steady drivers. He started back in the 28th position, so he's Ethan, that's kind of his MO all the time. He's not a driver that's going to come out here and lead a ton of laps and be the fastest on the track, but he sure is going to find a way to get that finish in the end. So kind of a quintessential Ethan Burrell type race here tonight, and really not surprising at a track as tough as Dover. He's looking for third now.
Absolutely. He is knocking on heaven's door of the 26. Brendan Wilkinson is going to have his hands full trying to keep him off. Meanwhile, Trey Eidson is making his way back up to the front. One of those caught up by the caution a couple of cautions ago. He's back into the fray.
Jeff Green lost position a little bit further on back to Gerald Campbell. Excuse me, not Jared, Gerald. So move Jeff Green back to the 9th position. And, I saw Allison Abnett. I think he might have plunked the wall there a little bit there off of turn number 4.
Did.
He's very slow.
It's going to be hairy. Oh, man, you saw Ethan Burrell jump down in front of the 83 of Johnny Thomas. He barely had enough room to make that. Oh, this is going to be close. Holy crackers. The closing rate between these cars, it is terrifying.
That is a really broken race car. I mean, for sale, slightly used O'Reilly car.
No low balls, I know what I got.
Yeah, exactly. That car is not driving well whatsoever. Another Zach Evans phrase, we are not driving good here. And I think he needs to pull that car into the pits because that car is all sorts of something up and just really kind of a roadblock just a little bit there on the track. But the battle here for the 3rd position has heated up. Fourth, really. Johnny Thomas up here.
I thought we were going to be 3 wide for a second. Here comes Trey Eidson. And he's going to get the pass done on Thomas back up to 4th.
Yeah, good recovery drive for him. Like you said, he was in that caution a few cautions ago. That's a weird way to say it, but definitely did not look as good as it looked early on in the race for him, but got himself back up there in the fight of things. And I mean, even Johnny Thomas too. He was the first to pit on that first long green flag run. Lost a lap and kind of looked like he was on the wrong end of the strategy, but definitely up here in the top 5 right now. So yeah, lots of stories playing out. Jeff Ryan here, he is smoking. That's not what you want your race car to do. It's a bad habit for a human and an even worse one for a race car.
Yep, lit out the magic smoke and loses it off of turn 4. Blam! Into the inside wall. And there's the magic smoke. No caution, thankfully, but that might be officially night done for the 3 as we're under 20 laps to go now. Here comes Gerald Campbell. Gerald making his way, trying to get position on Ethan Burrell, trying to get a little bit closer. Gerald has definitely found some speed in this possibly final run to the checkered here.
Yep, and it is all go, no brakes, all throttle, all gas, all take right now. No tire saving right now at this point in the race. It is everything you got. And for Jared Rexing, a little bit further on up at the front, he has kept that 11 of Matthew Weeks behind him, about 0.3 of a second the gap right now, and doing a great job of just running his line, running his pace, doing what he can do, and not worrying about that 11 car behind him. So that's really ultimately going to be the key up here for really all these drivers. Wilkinson in front of Thomas, Burrell right behind him. So just a lot of these drivers who looked a little bit down for the count earlier on this race, coming up to the front, coming up to the challenge later on, and doing a great job of doing it when it counts. The points are paid after lap 200, not 100.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, you see Jeff Green. Oh, we're going to be 3 wide. Here comes Adams and Green. They're past Hibbs. And now Green having to hold Adams off. Here comes Tyler Pop.
Ooh, that was close there off turn number 4. I think there was
Yeah.
almost some contact. You're playing with the netcode right in that moment. iRacing netcode can give it, and it can certainly take it the way there. I got to think, Gavin Hibbs, that light contact into the wall, that is a part of the race car you do not want to damage. The right rear is basically where all these O'Reilly cars make their downforce at. And, we saw how fast he was earlier on in the race. I think he is not driving as well as he did earlier. He's in some trouble right now.
Yeah, I am a little surprised that Hibbs didn't elect to come down pit road and try to get that worked on under that last caution, and now it's starting to really affect him now. As here comes Adams with a huge run around the outside, and he's going to get Morrell. What a move!
That was
Jacob Adams.
Great move, yeah.
And there he goes past Thomas. Jacob Adams with the bit between his teeth. 3 seconds back to the lead. I don't know if he's going to run down Rexing, but he has put himself in the top 5 with a great last couple laps.
That's like in Days of Thunder when you're already balling in 4th gear and then they somehow find more. So he found another gear right there and just absolutely clapped Burrell and Thomas right there. Almost up in the wall. Wow.
Yeah, just as quickly as he gained it, he almost gave it away right there. Ripping the lip and almost ripped it too much. Meanwhile, Gavin Hibbs is sideways. Big save. Meanwhile, battle for the lead. Here comes Trey Eidson. Trey out of nowhere is trying to get the lead. Jared Rexing giving everything he's got on the outside as we're coming to 10 to go. Rexing trying to take the momentum from the high side. He can't. Trey will clear to the race lead. Just when you thought he was out of it, here he comes. Rexing, though, he's not giving it up. Down to the inside goes the 10. He almost has him clear, but here comes Trey fighting back around the outside. Whoa, and shuts the door on Rexing, and you see the 10 having to get off the throttle. As they're catching up to the lap car of Scott Crump. Crump gets out of the way of the race lead. Great move by Crump. You appreciate that as you know Trey Eisen appreciates that. Because now Rexing has his hands full with Weeks right behind. Eidson put 3 tenths on them already.
I didn't even see Eidson get around Weeks. He did it so quick. He just drove around him and then decided to go for Rexing as well. So Rexing trying a little bit of a different line here. Up high there in turns 1 and 2. I don't think it's going to work. That 27.
Oh, meanwhile, we're 3 wide further back. Thomas, Hibbs, and Green. And look who Gavin Hibbs has on his outside. A car I don't think he wants to see, at least for the rest of the night. Oh no!
Wow.
That's Crump again!
Wow. That is crazy. I thought in my head, what if they got together again? And Lord have mercy.
Boy.
I love Elite Racing. That is Scott Crump. I mean, you got to think. We obviously saw what he was doing there. He was trying to get in the way of the 95 just a little bit here, being annoying. And I'd say it has every right to do so. But you're playing with fire at the same time, and you can get yourself wrecked by doing that, especially under 10 laps to go. Interesting. You gotta love it.
Yeah, I'm not saying anything. All I'm saying is I'm glad I'm not race control right now. That's all I'm saying.
I'm glad I'm not race control. I'm glad I'm not Chad. I'm glad I'm not Crump, and I'm glad I'm not Gavin Hibbs, because I'm sure all 4 of those people are going to be having a friendly discussion at some point later on tonight, and definitely Gavin with the damage on this car, you know, he wasn't running as well as he was earlier. He's actually falling back a little bit as we see everybody coming down pit road. And, well, James, more beef.
Yeah, because like with where Scott is, you you can't really say that Hibbs has a whole lot of time to do anything, given how close he is to Crump. So if Scott has to check up for any reason, quote unquote, there isn't a whole lot for Gavin Hibbs to do to avoid that. So
Yeah. Well, either way, that is a extremely interesting situation there. And, well, we have some change up in the front. Jared Rexing was out of the pits first, it looks like. And it's going to be Wilkinson and Eidson and Weeks all the way back to 5th. So a little bit of a change here in the pit stop realm. We didn't see it because we were paying attention to the beef going on in the radio chat, and even in the YouTube chat we have a bunch of people voicing their opinions and such, and it's great to see that. That's engagement here for Elite Racing Network, so keep on doing that.
Oh,
Love to
boy.
see it.
Beef. It's what's for dinner.
Definitely feels like a bit of a cow farm here with all the beef going on tonight. Let's get a quick re-rack of the top 10 here. It's Rexing, Wilkinson, Eidson, Pop, Weeks, your top 5. The Adams brothers, Jacob and Josh, are 6th and 7th. I don't know why I said those two numbers together, but Ethan Burrell is 8th, Joe Campbell 9th, and Jeff Green is 10th.
And the curious thing is, it looks like we're 1 to green right now, so it looks like we're going to have 3 laps to go. As you see the pace car getting ready to make the hard left-hand turn on the pit road. Jared Rexing is going to lead us back to the restart zone. Green means go, and we are back underway at Dover. 3 laps to go to decide this one. Great jump from Rexing. Here comes Trey Eidson. Oh no, we're
trouble.
in the back, around goes Jacob Adams. Oh, and Ethan Burrell. Oh, heartbreaking for Jacob Adams. A phenomenal run up in flames.
Jacob Adams went up there on the top of the racetrack here, and I think when he diamonded out, I think he just I think there was a car there in the form of the 37 of Burrell. No, he actually just got loose.
Yeah.
And just yeah, interesting there. Just did not have the rear end grip that he probably thought he would. He was ripping that line on these restarts before, so obviously did not do what he thought it was going to do. And just, you know, like you said, shame, because he had a great run going here. Had driven up through the field, started back in the 38th position, and was up to the top 5 at one point in this race. Certainly not going to finish there now.
Well, now we're under our first green, white checkered.
And we had the beef extending into that last restart. They were still going at it in the voice chat as we were restarting once again. So he just, like I say, is William White, God bless your soul. I feel for you. You've done a great job here tonight with the race controlling, and Godspeed the rest of the night, because you're gonna hear some stuff the rest of the night.
The stuff is continuing, because those affected by this caution are very much not happy with someone, so the beef is still cooking. This is a slow simmering beef at but still at 400 degrees.
It's like a corned beef. You put that in the crock pot, kind of low cook it a little bit, and then it, maybe if you forget about it or put it in the oven or something. Yeah, they are still going at it. I love race cars. I love the Elite Racing League when I get to experience things like this. Nights like tonight are fun. Definitely a lot more fun being up here in the booth than it would be out there on the racetrack having to actually experience it on a different end. But, sometimes it's all right. Sometimes the chaos, embrace the chaos, right?
Let me tell you, Cam, and I'm fairly certain you have the same opinion that I do. There is no more fun races to broadcast than dumpster fires. This is awesome, as we are now
Absolutely.
1 to green finally, and it's going to be interesting. Trey Eitzen now, he's going to be on the outside. It's a struggle to get the jump on the outside, and I think Trey might have the fresher tires, because I have a feeling Jared Rexing probably took 2 under that when they all came down under the next to last caution. But now he's going to have... Go on.
That 2 tires here, if you take that, it does make you loose on these restarts here. So he's just going to have to send it in there and hope that it sticks. Jacob Adams might have also taken 2, and that might be why he spun there. But yeah, we'll definitely see. He's been quick on the short runs.
Absolutely, as we see the pace car making the hard left-hand turn onto pit road. Jared Rexing is going to bring us to the restart zone. Green means go. We're back underway at Dover, and that was not the restart Trey Eitzen needed. He's going to be side by side with his teammate going down into turn 1. It's Tyler Popp trying to make it 3 wide. That's exactly what Jared Rexing wants to see in his mirror off of turn 2. Oh, we got contact from the other Adams off into the turn 2 wall. Oh, contact between Wilkinson and Weeks. Meanwhile, here we go, off of turn 4, white flag, 1 lap to go. Oh, big save from Tyler Popp. Rexing trying to hold on. Trey Eitzen is just about there to the 10, but it might not be enough time. Trying to draft off of the 10, down into turn 3. He's trying. He's going to get close, but it's not close enough. Off of turn 4, Jared Rexing wins at Dover. Oh, and we're wrecking off of turn 4, coming to the checkered as well.
Wow, what a race. We have the beef still going on here. The race is over. Jared Rexing is celebrating, and they're still fighting in the chat. It is still going on. It's going to spill over into the Discord. Absolutely. If you are a fan of Elite Racing, go check the Discord after this. I'm sure it'll be a great time. See some victory bumps there from Gerald Campbell here. But Rexing, he wasn't the fastest here tonight. He was not the fastest really on the short run or the long run, but he had the most consistent. He was the one who did not make the mistakes, and he gets the win out of everything. Just what a great race. I mean, my first commentary here in the Grand National Series, and my oh my, I am speechless.
Yeah, there's not much more you can add as Jared Rexing burns it down. As Jared does his celebration, we're going to go ahead and take our final break of the night. We'll be back with our top 3.
Tickets are on sale now for the 5th in Detroit, Illinois 300 at Worldwide Technology Raceway. September 11th through 13th brings a full weekend of action with the NASCAR Cup Series, NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, and St. Louis's biggest music festival, Confluence. The stars shine on and off the track, and your ticket gets you everything: cars, concerts, camping, food, and fun. Don't miss it. Get your tickets now and save big at WWT Raceway.
Blue Egg Marketing. Rev up your business with Blue Egg, your marketing pit crew. Turbocharge your lead generation with experienced drivers that can navigate the competitive track to connecting with your customers. With Blue Egg, you're always in the pole position, leading your brand towards victory lane. So don't spin your wheels, accelerate success with Blue Egg, fueling small businesses to win big.
The Lucas Oil School of Racing. Simply stated, we are the professional ranks where the quality of the equipment often dictates the outcomes, and all of our cars are designed to perform and race as close as humanly possible. None of our competitors will have an advantage from engineering tactics. Rather, you will compete on a completely level field with a score of immensely talented up-and-coming drivers, all pushing each other to reach their new heights in their respective pursuit in becoming a professional race car driver. Every year, our top-performing graduates move on to the professional racing liners of IndyCar, F1, and IMSA. Whether drivers compete in 1 or 2 seasons of our series, when they are ready to move on, they are ready to move. The training you receive in our school is an unmatched, unforgettable, first-class education combining the very best racing instruction and education.
This is Bobby Bolin from Tom Bolin Ford, and I have huge news for you. Right now, we are offering interest rates as low as 3.99 on most of our used cars. That's right, 3.99 happening right now. And it gets even better. These used vehicles come with the Bolin Lifetime Powertrain Warranty, giving you protection for the long haul. This is your chance to save big with incredible rates and shop our wide variety of trucks, vans, SUVs, and cars. Only at Tom Bolin Ford in Hannibal. Heck of a...
Alrighty, we are back, and we are back with our third place finisher, Brandon James in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Well, there's a lot of things to describe that race, and very few of them I could repeat right now, but just take us through your night. This was one wild race.
Yeah, it was definitely different. First off, there's stage one. I kind of got tunnel vision tonight with the 2 stages, and I thought I had a good strategy to be aggressive to try to maximize stage points. And yeah, just kind of ran the tires off and was humbled and had to pit from 20th there, which was not ideal. But yeah, able to score stage points there in both stages, and I thought we were set up to have a decent top 10, top 12 run after that. And yeah, it just man, the race played out so differently than I thought it was going to. But yeah, definitely, this place is really hard, really abrasive on tires. So it was a long race for sure.
Absolutely, and take us through that final green white checkered. Sound like there was a little bit of contact between you and Tyler Pop, from what I heard at least.
Yeah, I mean, first off, I wish I had. I decided to take 2 just because I really thought with the track cooling down, it was going to free up just enough with the low fuel level that, it was going to drive really good, and that was right. So it's definitely the right call. I wish I would have got a good initial restart from second, and we just kind of bled a spot. And when you restart third on a green white checker, you're just kind of boxed. So yeah, just kind of got a bad run off of 2, and I was kind of looking in my mirror, getting ready to block, and I thought it was going to be kind of a late block, and I knew I was kind of in no man's land there in the middle, and Tyler had a better run into the corner than I thought he was going to get, especially being on 2 tires. And yeah, it wasn't his fault at all. We just we kind of came together, and the 11 kind of got the worst out of the deal, even though he finished 4th, and obviously Tyler got loose off 4. But yeah, it just kind of one of them things. But yeah, all in all, it was good. We'll take it. Obviously, Trey finishing second, and me on the podium, so it's ideal. It's a good run for us.
Absolutely, a great run. Any sponsors, plugs, and shout outs you'd like to give before we let you go?
Yeah, obviously, Golden Brew Coffee Co. This is our 2nd season together. Everybody at Shift, it's just such a great group of guys that I feel every week somebody's a contender, and it's always somebody different. So that's really cool. It's definitely a very cool dynamic. Whether Ryan's in the mix or Scott or Trey or me or the Adams family or Seth, it's just and Connor. It's just a really really good group of guys to come race with. So yeah, everybody at Shift, Golden Brew Coffee Co. Seth Rawls Designs, obviously Chad for having probably the most successful Xfinity NASCAR style league on Monday nights. Really good group of people to come race with, and it's definitely enjoyable.
Absolutely, we appreciate you, Brandon. Hopefully we're talking to you again next week.
Yeah, thank you guys. We'll see you guys in Milwaukee.
All right, now here's Cam with our runner-up.
Hey, Trey, this is Cam Rich in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey man, what's up?
Yeah, well, interesting race for you. You started back in 11th. You ran really all throughout the top 10 all night. Sometimes you looked like you were the fastest car, and sometimes you looked like maybe you were on the bad side of the strategy. But I mean, we had fun up here in the booth. It was certainly one of the races we've seen. Great beef, great racing. Tell us about your night.
Yeah, it was a roller coaster. Yeah, started 11th, got up to like 5th or 6th. I was gonna let's see, 60, 120. Trying to do math here. I was gonna two stop it. I think some were gonna try 3, some were gonna try 1. Um, and then the caution come out after the second green flag stopped, so I got trapped. A lap down, took the wave around, and then we ran like 4 or 5 laps. And then there was a wreck off of 4. So whatever caution that was, I think there was maybe 30 or 40 to go. I came down and got tires, and no one else did. I mean, others did around me, but no one at the front. So then it went green, drove up to the lead, which was kind of shocking because the tires didn't really matter the first like 5 laps of that run. So I thought, whatever it didn't matter. I'll still run 9th to 12th. Then we just started picking them off, and with 4 to go, you think you're going to win, and then the caution comes out. And then I was the first one on 4 tires with the 2 in front of me on 2, so I thought I was in a good spot there. But we just didn't have enough laps for it to matter. I had thought about 2 and just thought it would be wreck and lose, so I didn't want to be that guy that causes the big one. So, but good for Jared because he ran. I mean, that last lap he ran there was like, I don't know what the pole was, but it had to be close because I ran like a 19 and he ran a 17. So, I mean, there were heater laps. So for him to put that down for 2 lap, in a 2 lap shootout, like good for him. He earned it. If we maybe had like 4 or 5 laps left, I think the 4 tires would have mattered. But that was a long one. I thought we were going to caution free and go by pretty quick, which it's all right. Not a big fan of Dover. So to come out of here with almost a win and then come home second, I will gladly take that.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the hallmarks of Dover, I think, having run it so many times over the years myself, is you were on the outside there with the last restart, and it's just one of the hardest places to restart. I think you're right in that transition, right where the banking starts to come back to you or fall off a little bit there. Is there anything you could have done differently there on that last restart, or did Jared just kind of like get it a little bit better than you?
Yeah, I mean, he got me for sure. I think he was in first gear, which was ballsy on old tires, especially at Dover. And because even I tried it going down the backstretch before we went green, and I was like, like you could probably make it work, but I don't feel comfortable. So especially as a guy in second, where you're more reactionary to the pole sitter or the leader. Because you tend to like panic and react and jump fully in the throttle. So I don't know if I could have made first gear work. Like maybe could have maybe timed it and started rolling him a little bit quicker as the restart zone was getting towards the end. Because you kind of get, you either got to go or shit or get off the pot, I guess would be the saying as the restart zone ends. So I could have probably maybe started rolling, but I don't know. I was kind of hoping maybe he would spin the tires with having some older lifts. We could just stay even, but. Just didn't work out in our favor tonight, but we really started the season kind of rough and dug ourselves up a hole in the points. So we could have easily all wrecked off of turn 2 and finished 15th. So he earned it. Like I said, those last laps he ran were, I mean, I drove hard as I could with fresh tires and was only gaining on him like very small fractions on exit. So, I mean, he earned it. So credit to him. Congratulations.
Yeah, right on, man. You came here 12th points and beat every single car that was in front of you. So that's going to be a nice little points gain for the rest of the season. And how are you planning on keeping the momentum rolling on into Milwaukee?
I love Milwaukee. We'll have to see. It's been a few years since I drove it. I'm probably in the like extreme minority, but it's one of my favorite tracks on the sim. I think because it's one of the originals from like. I don't know. I've been on this thing forever. So I think Milwaukee is one of the early like 2008, 2009 tracks. So I've just always took a liking to it. I do believe we'll be shifting knowing this car. I think the last time I ran Elite at Milwaukee, I got the pole and led like a billion laps. And then Tate came out of nowhere because he's like a tire god and got me near the end. So hopefully maybe we can repeat that and not give it up to Tate at the end. But looking to just carry the momentum. We kind of start our finishes seem to be getting better the last few weeks. So really just hope to keep that top 5, top 10 momentum. Maybe get a points buffer. But I really need to thank Seth and everybody at Shift Esports. I think it's a pretty large team, but I feel like we all work together, share pretty good knowledge of, what's going on week to week, work together on the track, and Seth does a good job bringing sponsors to our vehicles. So just got to appreciate them, and thanks AB Quality Auto Glass. They're on all the vehicles. Hopefully I'm a non-charter driver on Thursday, so I got to try to get the Cup car in at Bristol Dirt, which don't know how I'm going to do that, but we'll see. Give them another good run.
Yeah, man. Well, it sounds like you got the shout outs out the way. So unless you have any more, I'll have to say I agree with you on Milwaukee. Being an old school IndyCar fan myself, the historic race after the Indy 500 for many, many years there at Milwaukee, it'll be really awesome to see these cars there. But definitely congrats on the second place tonight there, and go keep the momentum rolling at another mile track next week.
Thanks, Cameron. I appreciate it. Yeah, thanks to you guys for broadcasting, and Chad and all the admins. Forgot to thank them. So yeah, hope to talk to you guys soon. Y'all have a good one.
Yep. All right, with that, James, you got Jared.
Yes, sir. Jared, James in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. How's it going?
Going all right, but not as good as it is for you. How about it, man? First of all, just take us through what was going through your mind making that call to take 2 tires on the final pit stop.
Yeah, it really wasn't that hard of a decision for me. I didn't expect it to be top 10. So when you got a shot at a win like that, you take it no matter how dumb it may seem on paper. And, it was a little loose on 2 tires, but, I think Trey needed that extra lap. So we had that quick caution that made it a green-white checker. And I really think that's what made the difference in holding him off.
Yeah, and you were really quick on the short run anyways to begin with. Like I talked about it, pretty much it felt like all of this season you have gotten really good on the short runs. Like we consistently see you up towards the front in those shorter runs, and you really use that to perfection tonight to get yourself in this position.
Yeah, I like to make a joke every now and then when people start talking about saving tires. Like life's too short to save tires, and with these Xfinity races, I think that's mostly true. I mean, a real life Xfinity race is pretty short, which is what we did tonight, 200 laps. But we're normally half that, and our runs just aren't long enough to really justify it most of the time. So, I'll save tires if I have to. I tried to the start of this run. I had some damage until we got that first yellow. I didn't really know what I had, but yeah, for the most part, I mean, just let her eat and see what happens. Is kind of my motto.
Yeah, and overall, it was just a really wacky race, all things considered. Were you expecting Dover to be like this?
We normally do get some long green flag runs here at Dover. I really didn't expect to go that long. I thought we'd have, we normally get that quick first yellow, a long run, and then we get yellows toward the end. And so the first run was like 100 and something laps, wasn't it? I mean, we went a long time. So that kind of, really shrunk the sample size. You only had 13 cars on the lead lap for the better part of that last half of the race. So really you could afford to kind of gamble, and you could afford to, burn those tires, because if you burn them off too much, you're not going to go worse than 13th place, right? And then you get a yellow, you're back in it. So it kind of helped being aggressive, knowing that you can't really fall that far back, especially when you're like me and didn't expect it and be in that position to begin with. So I think, everything just kind of fell into my hand tonight.
Absolutely, and it was a phenomenal run tonight. Any sponsors, plugs, and shout outs you'd like to give before we let you go?
Yeah, guys at Aggressive Eagle and Dugan Motorsports, we run with them most every week, Monday and Wednesday. had a good run with him. Gerald got a top 5 tonight. It was good morale boost for the team. And shout out to my wife as always. She's a stay-at-home mom right now, and she's killing it. So shout out to her, and shout out to you guys in the booth and Chad and everyone putting this league together.
All righty, we appreciate you, Jared, and hopefully we're talking to you again next week.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
All right, there's our race winner. And first, let's go ahead and make a small apology for the language of our runner-up. $1 will be donated to the brand new Trey Eitzen Memorial Swear Jar. But yeah, what a wild night of racing, Cam. Like, I don't even know where to start with what we got to watch.
Oh yeah, it was classic Dover with a little bit of extra spice and fluff. We had beef, we had great racing all night, we had strategy, we had a few cautions, we had long green runs, and it was just everything that you love from elite racing.
Absolutely. But with that, I believe it's time we get the heck on out of here. For my broadcast partners, Cameron Rich and Dave Huckleberry, I'm James Watson, bidding you adieu till next week. Good night, everyone.